Noah is actually a term that was given as a biblical term. He was actually the very last of these Predian kings of one of these original 5 cities of Sumer. Are we looking at the traces of a forgotten episode in human history? I think so. I think that's what's going on here. Would it be fair to say that there's an element of a rediscovery of technology from the past? I think it would be fair to say that, yes. Have you ever wondered about the legend of King Gilgamesh in the ancient city he ruled? Let's dive into a time machine and head back to around 2700 BCE, right into the heart of Mesopotamian civilization, during what scholars call the early dynastic period. I would prefer to propose, and I have proposed, that what we're looking at is evidence of some kind of transfer of technology, that people came into that area who had other knowledge. This was an ERA, when city-states were popping up all over Mesopotamia, marking some of the earliest complex societies in human history, and right there in the thick of it was Gilgamesh, a name that echoes through history not just as a king, but as a figure of myth and epic tales. Gilgamesh's realm was none other than Uruk, a jewel among the Sumerian city-states nestled in the fertile lands along the Euphrates River, in what we now know as modern-day Iraq. This is a very neglected area of the world. As far as deep and ancient archaeology goes, picture this: a bustling urban center alive with the hum of marketplaces, the grandeur of massive temple complexes, and the imposing presence of the legendary Uruk wall said to be built by Gilgamesh himself. It's interesting that the patterns are geometrical. Someone made it, and it involved a very large amount of organized labor in order to make it. There had to be the will and the intent in order to do that. Uruk wasn't just any city. It was a beacon of culture, economy, and innovation, credited with many firsts in human civilization, including the invention of cuneiform writing. But what was life like under King Gilgamesh's rule? Imagine a leader who was more than just a man. He was a figure of divine significance, believed to be responsible for the welfare and prosperity of his people. Under his leadership, Uruk flourished, becoming a center for religious devotion, particularly for the worship of Inanna, a major deity in the Sumerian pantheon. Gilgamesh's Uruk was a city that represented the zenith of Sumerian engineering, architecture, and social organization, boasting a population that highlighted its status as one of the world's largest cities at the time. During his reign, Gilgamesh would have been the linchpin in the city's governance, overseeing administrative decisions, religious practices, and military campaigns to safeguard Uruk's interests. His leadership likely saw the construction of monumental projects that not only enhanced the city's splendor, but also its defenses, ensuring Uruk's prominence in the annals of ancient history. If we're only looking for a mere reflection of ourselves, we could overlook it completely. I think we're getting very close to rediscovering some of the things that our ancient ancestors were up to. Diving into the sands of time, the figure of King Gilgamesh stands as a fascinating blend of myth and reality, a character who has intrigued historians and archaeologists alike. While the line between the legendary and the historical is often blurred, there's a handful of archaeological breadcrumbs that lead us back to the possibility of Gilgamesh's actual existence in ancient Mesopotamian civilizations. First off, let's talk about the Sumerian king list. This isn't your average historical document. It's more like a mashup of history and mythology, listing rulers of Sumer and their reign lengths. What's cool about this list is that our guy Gilgamesh makes an appearance. His name popping up among other rulers gives us a hint that maybe, just maybe, he was a real figure who ruled and wasn't just a character in ancient bedtime stories. The fact that there are several versions of this list found in different places and from various times shows that keeping track of their leaders was pretty important to the Sumerians, and that Gilgamesh was a significant part of that record. Then there are the inscriptions and artifacts. Imagine finding a tablet or a cylinder seal with Gilgamesh's name carved into it. These bits and pieces don't give us the full picture of his reign, but do suggest he was recognized as a king. These items, scattered across ancient Sumerian sites like breadcrumbs, hint at the long-lasting memory of Gilgamesh, underlining his status, not just as a myth, but as a cultural icon. But here's where it gets tricky. Trying to separate the man from the myth in Gilgamesh's story is like trying to untangle a finely knotted rope. The archaeological evidence we have doesn't lay out his life story or list his achievements in detail. Instead, it teases us with glimpses, leaving us wondering about the reality of his reign. This scarcity of clear-cut historical records makes Gilgamesh an enigmatic figure shrouded in the mists of time. Despite these challenges, the evidence we do have is precious. It bridges the gap between legend and history, suggesting that Gilgamesh might have been more than just a character in an epic tale. Diving into the ancient world, let's explore one of the oldest stories ever told, the Epic of Gilgamesh. Picture this: clay tablets etched with cuneiform, the very first writing system cooked up by the ingenious Sumerians. This epic isn't just a tale, it's a journey back to the 3rd dynasty of Ur around 2100 BC, though its roots stretch back even further through earlier Sumerian poems about our hero, Gilgamesh. The story of Gilgamesh came to light in the modern era thanks to 19th century archaeologists rummaging through the ruins of Neva's library. Imagine piecing together a jigsaw puzzle of ancient clay fragments, each piece a window into the epic's soul-stirring narrative. Sure, some parts are missing, lost to time, but what remains is a testament to human creativity and spirit. Now onto Gilgamesh himself. This guy was not your average ancient king described as 23s god and 1/3 human. He was a force to be reckoned with. His divine lineage gave him superhuman strength and courage, setting him leagues apart from mere mortals and even other mythical heroes. The epic's narrative is a roller coaster of adventures and quests, showcasing Gilgamesh's thirst for glory and eternal fame. Take his trek to the cedar forest to defeat Humbaba. For example, it's the stuff of legends, a clear display of his heroism, yet it's the death of his friend Enkidu that turns his world upside down, launching him on a quest for immortality and leading him to confront the harsh truth of human mortality. Speaking of Enkidu, his friendship with Gilgamesh is nothing short of transformative. Enkidu, created by the gods from the wild to temper Gilgamesh's arrogance, ends up becoming his soulmate. Their bond is a powerful narrative force, illustrating how deep connections can foster personal growth and lead to profound realizations about life and oneself at its core. The Epic of Gilgamesh is rich with themes that resonate deeply with the human experience. It's a tale of the relentless search for fame and the universal quest for immortality, only to find that death is an inescapable part of life. The story underscores the importance of friendship and how it shapes our journey towards understanding and accepting our humanity. In the whirlwind adventure that is the Epic of Gilgamesh, we're treated to some of the most captivating encounters between I am mortal and the divine. You'll find anywhere in ancient literature Gilgamesh's quest is not just a tale of heroism and the search for eternal life, it's a deep dive into the complex dance between gods and humans in Mesopotamian culture. Take for instance Gilgamesh's meeting with Utnapishtim, the ancient world's version of Noah. Imagine sitting down with someone who survived a world-ending flood, all because a god gave him the heads up to build a boat. This isn't just an incredible survival story, it's a pivotal moment for Gilgamesh. He's on a quest for immortality, and here's Utnapishtim, living proof that the gods can grant such a wish. The story of the Great Flood where the gods decide to reboot humanity, but spare Utnapishtim mirrors the power the Anunnaki wield in Mesopotamian myths, making life and death decisions over humanity's fate. Gilgamesh's journey is peppered with divine interactions that really make you think about the ancient Mesopotamian view of the cosmos. There's Enkidu, Gilgamesh's partner in crime, who was literally made by a goddess because the gods felt Gilgamesh needed to tone it down a bit. Then there's Ishtar, the goddess of love and war, who doesn't take rejection. Well, after Gilgamesh turns her down, she sends a celestial bull to Rakshop as payback. And let's not forget about Humbaba, the fearsome guardian of the cedar forest, appointed by the god Enlil-Gilgamesh. And Enkidu's battle with Humbaba isn't just an epic fight scene, it's a narrative about human ambition clashing with divine intent throughout his quests. Gilgamesh keeps in touch with the sun, god Shamash, who's like a divine mentor offering guidance and support. It's fascinating to see this godly figure taking an active interest in Gilgamesh's endeavors. Even Gilgamesh's mom Ninan gets in on the divine action. Though she's more of a minor goddess, her interventions on her son's behalf highlight the intimate relationship between the gods and Gilgamesh, blurring the lines between the celestial and the terrestrial. Heading back into mesmerizing world of ancient Mesopotamia, and you'll encounter the Anunnaki, a group of deities whose stories weave through the heart of Sumerian and Ardean mythology. These mythologies, among the oldest in human history, share a fascinating pantheon of gods, with the Anunnaki holding a special place. Interestingly, over time, some Anunnaki began to be associated with celestial bodies. This transition highlights their growing significance in Mesopotamian astrology and cosmology, where the movements of stars and planets were seen as divine messages. The identification of certain Anunnaki with the sun, moon, and Venus, for example, lent these celestial bodies a sacred significance, connecting the dots between the heavens and the divine drama of the gods. You had survivors of two types: those who survived by the luck of the draw, and those who survived because they knew it was going to happen. They prepared for it. You think they knew it was going to happen. I think we could make a strong argument somebody did know the Nibiru cataclysm theory, and Randall Carlson's repeating cataclysm theory both delve into the realm of catastrophic events impacting Earth, yet they stem from markedly different foundations and implications. Now what we do is we throw some type of an impact into the mix. It seems to fill gaps that were, at this point, still unexplained. The Nibiru cataclysm theory posits the existence of a rogue planet, Nibiru, which supposedly passes through our solar system, with an elongated orbit causing gravitational upheavals and potentially catastrophic events on Earth every 3,600 years. This theory, largely based on interpretations of ancient texts, emphasizes a single extraterrestrial trigger for apocalyptic events. In contrast, Randall Carlson's theory is grounded in geological and astronomical evidence, suggesting that Earth has undergone periodic cataclysmic events due to a variety of natural causes, including comet impacts, volcanic eruptions, and ice age cycles. One of the scenarios would certainly suggest that there were extreme climate changes. Carlson, a self-taught geologist and scholar of ancient mythology, argues that these repeating cataclysms have shaped human history and the Earth's geology over millennia. While the Nibiru theory focuses on a specific externally driven cataclysm linked to ancient myths, is there a possible hidden connection between Earth's cataclysms and Nibiru in space? There had to be something we needed to look at that triggered the extreme climate changes that we do see. So when we're looking back at those are the people that are sort of reinventing and relearning. Well, part of our modern psychology is to imagine that we are somehow so far advanced. Nibiru is linked to the god Marduk, a central figure in the Babylonian pantheon. Marduk represents the meeting point of power, divinity, and cosmic order, highlighting Nibiru's immense significance in religious texts, and its crucial role in the astronomical and calendrical systems of that era. When it comes to the astronomical significance of Nibiru, the Babylonians held it in high esteem. Nibiru was considered the highest point of the ecliptic, marking the summer solstice's position. This wasn't just an arbitrary point in the sky, it was vital for their calendrical system, influencing agricultural practices and religious ceremonies. The tracking of Nibiru and its association with specific constellations underscored its importance for ancient astronomers. These scholars of the sky leveraged their knowledge of Nibiru's path to guide agricultural cycles, plan religious festivals, and interpret omens, integrating celestial observations into the fabric of their daily lives. Drawing parallels between civilizations, Nibiru in Mesopotamian mythology and the Greek Phaethon offers a fascinating glimpse into the universal human endeavor to make sense of the cosmos. Phaethon, the shining one linked to the sun god Helios, was said to drive the sun's chariot across the sky. This myth, much like the significance of Nibiru to the Mesopotamians, illustrates the critical role celestial bodies played in shaping the ancient world's understanding of time and space. Both Nibiru and Phaethon stories reflect a deep-seated belief in the power of celestial entities to influence or even dictate the fundamental rhythms of earthly existence. Zecharia Sitchin's The 12th Planet, published in 1976, kicked off a series of books that weave together ancient mythology, astronomy, and the notion of extraterrestrial life into a narrative that's as fascinating as it is controversial. Sitchin introduced the world to the idea of Nibiru, a mysterious, yet-to-be-discovered planet with a wildly elliptical orbit, taking it deep into the cosmos far beyond Neptune every 3,600 years. But where did such an out-of-this-world theory come from? Sitchin's answer: ancient Sumerian cuneiform tablets, which he interpreted as chronicling the existence of this 12th celestial body in our solar system, if you also count the sun and moon. At the heart of Sitchin's theory lies the Anunnaki, a race of advanced beings from Nibiru who supposedly visited Earth about 450,000 years ago. Sitchin's narrative doesn't just place these extraterrestrials on Earth, it credits them with genetically engineering early humans to create modern Homo sapiens for the purpose of mining gold needed on their home planet. It's a tale that marries the genesis of human civilization with cosmic visitors, suggesting that the advanced astronomical knowledge of the Sumerians, including their awareness of Nibiru's orbit, was a gift from these otherworldly ancestors. Sitchin's proposal of Nibiru's 3,600-year orbit stems from his unique interpretation of the Sumerian numeral system, and their concept of a great year, despite the lack of concrete evidence from mainstream science to back up Nibiru's existence or its effect on our planet, the idea has captured the imagination of many. It's even sparked theories linking Nibiru to mass extinction events on Earth, with some suggesting that its gravitational pull might fling comets and asteroids towards Earth, triggering catastrophic events. What we certainly do see here is a clustering right around 13,000 years ago that looks pretty evident to me. Sitchin's work draws an interesting parallel to the theories of M. Velikovsky, especially those laid out in his 1950s book Worlds in Collision. Like Sitchin, Velikovsky turned to ancient texts, interpreting them as accounts of catastrophic astronomical events that reshaped early human history and mythology. However, Velikovsky focused on collisions within our inner solar system, while Sitchin took the narrative further into space, introducing an extraterrestrial dimension with the Anunnaki and their distant unseen home planet, Nibiru. Both theories, while outside mainstream scientific consensus, offer a tantalizing glimpse into the possibility that ancient myths might hold more truth about our universe and origins than we've traditionally believed. So here we got mythology, MH, and here we have scientific evidence that Earth was blasted. As the Mayan long count calendar ticked down to its final days in December 2012, the world was abuzz with talk of apocalyptic predictions. Central to the frenzy was the mysterious planet Nibiru, a rogue celestial body rumored to be on a collision course with Earth. This blend of ancient prophecy, modern-day conspiracy, and astronomical speculation had people everywhere wondering if we were on the brink of cataclysmic destruction. The idea was that Nibiru, invisible to astronomers yet somehow detected by those in the know, would either smash into Earth or come close enough to wreak havoc through its gravitational pull. NASA, stepping into the fray, did something quite unexpected. For a scientific organization, it directly addressed these doomsday predictions. The space agency was clear there was no evidence of Nibiru, nor any celestial threat looming on the horizon. If a planet were barreling towards us, it would have been spotted by countless eyes scanning the skies, both professional and amateur. NASA's extensive sky surveys, including those by the Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, had turned up nothing that could be the mythical Nibiru. Enter Randall Carlson, a self-taught geologist with a penchant for catastrophism. Carlson has delved deep into Earth's geological record, uncovering evidence of repeated cataclysmic events that have dramatically reshaped our planet, from rapid climate shifts to massive floods and comet impacts. His research paints a picture of Earth's tumultuous history and its impact on human civilization. This is where things get interesting. Could a hypothetical Nibiru fit into this pattern of cataclysms? Some might speculate that if Nibiru X existed, its elongated orbit could coincide with these catastrophic periods, possibly acting as a gravitational catalyst for comet showers or other disruptive events. The broader scientific community, however, frames these cataclysms within the context of natural Earth processes and known astronomical phenomena. Events like asteroid impacts, supervolcanic eruptions, and ice age cycles are recognized as part of Earth's dynamic history, but are attributed to natural causes rather than the influence of an unseen planet. The dialogue between speculative theories like Nibiru and the scientific exploration of Earth's cataclysmic past, as undertaken by researchers like Carlson, underscores our fascination with cosmic disasters. It reflects a deep-seated curiosity about the forces that have shaped and continue to influence our planet. While one path ventures into the realm of myth and pseudoscience, the other seeks to unravel the mysteries of our world through the rigorous lens of geology and astronomy. Together they highlight our ongoing quest to understand the cataclysmic events that mark Earth's history and the cosmic ballet that plays out above us.